Okay, number 55. This is the end of Unit 3 review. Use this graph to answer the question, which function is shown on the graph? So if you see a question like that on your test, what would you maybe think to do first? Okay, graph it. So I would just start with A. Okay, so y equals x squared minus 3x minus 10. X squared minus 3x minus 10. When you graph it, you see across the x-axis in two places. Where are those two places? Negative 2 and positive 5. Is that where they cross on the picture? Yeah, so that's the right one. That's all you have to do. All right, number 56. The function f of t equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 5 models the height of a ball that was hit into the air, where t is measured in seconds and h is the height in feet. The table represents the height g of t of a second ball that was thrown into the air. So you really got to think about this one. They're giving you two different scenarios here. The first one is about a ball thrown into the air, but then they have a second one. F of t is the first ball, g of t is the second ball. Well, f of t is just given to you in an equation form. G of t is given to you in table form. Well, from the table, can you figure out how long the second ball was in the air? How long? Guys, look at the time in seconds of the table. 0 to 3 seconds. Doesn't that mean that the g of t ball was in the air 3 seconds? So now let's narrow down some answers just by knowing that. This one says g of t 3 seconds. This one says g of t 5, so it's out. G of t 4, so it's out. G of t 3. So we've narrowed it down to A and D because both of those say that the g of t function went from 0 to 3 seconds. Now how could we figure out how long the f of t function, the ball was in the air? Graph it. Very good. Y equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 5. How long was that ball in the air? 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. It hit the ground at 4. And so that means the correct answer is D. It says the f of t was 4 seconds. Okay, next page. Now let's start going over some of the Unit 4 questions. A certain population of bacteria has an average growth rate of 2%. The formula for the original growth of the bacteria's population is A equals P sub 0 times 1.02 to the t power. Underline what's important, where P sub 0 is the original population and t is time. So if you begin with 200 bacteria, about how many bacteria will there be after 100 hours? What can we do? Right, 200 is what you begin with, and P of 0 is original population, so it would replace the P of 0. Times 1.02, now what do we do? Right, T is time in hours. Well, they tell us 100 hours. When you type that in, what do you get? It was like 1448 point something, right? So this was like a typo, but wouldn't you just use your common sense and circle this one? Okay, yeah, it was a typo. I think on it was supposed to say 1449 because they rounded up. Okay, number 58. Which function represents this sequence? Okay, what do you think? It's actually D. Let's talk about why. Okay, if we just look at it, what pattern do you notice? What's happening to get from the first term to the second term to the third term? Times 3 every time. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 3 is 54. 54 times 3 is 162. 162 times 3 is 486. So just by seeing that, I eliminated B. So I was like, well, there's no 3 in that. Then I just started with my choices, and I said, okay, 3 to the n minus 1 power. What is your first n value? 1. So if I replace the n with a 1, doesn't that become 3 to the 0 power? 1 minus 1 is 0. And what is 3 to the 0 power? What's anything to the 0 power? No. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Well, is that what I was supposed to get? No, which tells you A is not right. Then you would move on to function C and try the same thing. Replace the n with a 1 and see if it gives you a 6. 3 times 6 to the n minus 1. If I replace this n with a 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. What's 6 to the 0 power? And is 1 times 3 6? No. So then I would try it with the last one. I always try the last one just to make sure I didn't make a mistake somewhere. 6 times 3 to the n minus 1 power. Plug in 1 in for the n. 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1, and 1 times 6 is 6. Also, once you see that, you'll be like, oh, the first term came out front, and then it's tripling, so that's the base. Okay, that's the factor. All right, number 59. The points 0, 1, 1, 5, 2, 25, and 3, 125 are on the graph of a function. Which equation represents that function? D is correct. Because look, to get from one number to the next, don't you just multiply by 5? Okay? Or you could have looked at it like this. 5 to the 0 power equals 1. 5 to the first power equals 5. 5 to the second power, equals 25. All you're doing is plugging in 0 for x, 1 for x, 2 for x, and seeing which one creates the y values. Number 60. Which function shows the function of f of x equals 3 to the x being translated 5 units left? B. Okay, remember, if the number is right with the x, it's a horizontal shift, and it's opposite of what your common sense would tell you. X plus 5 is left. X minus 5 would be right. If the number is not right with the x, and it's like this, that's down 5 and up 5. So one more question, next page. What would the answer to 61 be? A. 5 down would be A. The vertical shifts are common sense. Minus is down, plus is up. The horizontal shifting is opposite of what your common sense would say. Okay? All right, we will continue working on this next week when you come to me. We will also talk about the remainder of the EOC schedule.